Welcome to the After Dark Show with Don Rogers.
Welcome everybody to the After Dark Show. I'm Don Rogers. Tonight, I am beyond excited for this guest. To welcome back this guest. She's absolutely extraordinary, and she holds a very special place in this show's history. Her name is Christy Campbell, and without her, this show wouldn't have existed. So if you ever wondered, I actually had a show before this, and we'll discuss that in a bit, but she was my very first guest on the After Dark show, and at the time it was actually called the Round Table After Dark, and then I switched it after the first episode to the After Dark show with Don Rogers. But she was the inspiration because her and I had such a wonderful conversation previously that I wanted to do something a little different. And because my other show was not like this one, it was a roundtable discussion panel about another show. I'm actually rocking some old school gear in honor of my roots. Love you, Rob. I used to have a show reviewing Rob Khalil's Typical Skeptic, and that's where I first met Christy, and that's how this all started and all came about. So as I said, her name is Christy Campbell. She's better known on YouTube as CC33. And like I said, she was the very first guest on this show 2 years and 3 seasons ago. And you're like, Dawn, how the hell do you have 3 seasons in 2 years? Well, I was so information hungry when I first started this show. I did so many shows in the first season that I had to split it into 2 because I almost burnt myself out. So this feels like an incredible full circle moment for me. Christy is an author. She's a visionary artist, a spiritual intuitive. She's an energy healer with roots in Cherokee and Muscogee Creek heritage. And I hope I said that right. And if I didn't, I apologize. Her path exploded after a powerful Kundalini awakening guided her into multidimensional healing, starseed remembrances, soul retrieval, and the activation of light language. Through her self-published books like ELECTRA, Montauk, Time Soldier, and others that weave personal timelines, quantum insights, and galactic messages, and her stunning light language artwork, she shares profound perspectives on her personal transformation, unity consciousness, and humanity's deep connection to the cosmos. So whether she's channeling high-frequency energies, decoding interdimensional symbols, or delivering raw, unfiltered stories of awakening and beyond, Christy brings authenticity, depth, and a fearless approach to the spiritual journey. So I hope you guys are ready for a mind-blowing, mind-expanding conversation that really might just shift on how you see reality itself, especially with her wisdom she's gathered since that first episode. So please join me in welcoming back the very first guest of the After Dark show, Miss Christy Campbell. Christy, thank you for coming back.
Me. That was a really good introduction, Dawn. Thank you for having me back. And it's good to make the full circle. And it's the equinox as well. So it's a special day. Yeah. Did you know? You didn't know that?
I did not know that, but that was really cool. It's just all synchronistic. And I tried to put as much as I could into that intro about you because it really is the jump off point. And I'm now over 100 episodes. I've had to have some removed from YouTube. We won't talk about that. But you know, I've done over 100 episodes, and it was really all inspired because of you. And I owe you this show, really, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done this. I took that leap of faith to do this because of you.
Wow, that's amazing too. I feel honored about that. I didn't even know that. So I just plant seeds, I guess, and then we just kind of see how things like turn back around and see what happened with everything, like kind of something like that is what I thought of. So that's awesome. And I've seen your shows, like you've interviewed so many different people too. So I'm sure you've gained a lot of how to do the maneuvering with the live and all of that too. So yeah, taking time and all that out of your schedule to do the lives. So
It's been a process. And like I said, the first year I wasn't working at the time, and I was doing shows like every other day, and I almost burnt out on it. But I always do say, and I was telling you this before when we were in the back, about, it's almost become a catchphrase from that very first show that there's always technical difficulties on this show. And I actually have the first 2 minutes of our first episode, and everybody gets to see exactly why I say. And this was the first time I ever tried to do an episode of this show. And before I play this, I want to thank Carbon Dallas from Ontario, Canada, because they were the original theme music to the After
Oh,
Dark
okay.
show on that very first episode before I ever met Frank Castle and was allowed to use Going AWOL. It was Carbon Dallas who supplied the music. So I'm going to throw that on now just so everybody can see how far we've come since the beginning.
My past will outlast me. Ask me if I agree with my choice.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Roundtable After Dark. This is kind of an impromptu podcast idea that's come up last minute, but I think it's important subjects and kind of a new concept for me. It's basically a podcast with an interview guest, but it's something that I'm going to start branching out to because there's a lot of us especially the typical skeptic community and the paranormal community, that have a message to share with each other. And we don't even tend to get to talk to each other beyond the chat. So if you're in the typical skeptic or the paranormal community and really want to be able to get your message out or chat, this is going to be a platform where you can do that. My very first guest is going to be Christy Campbell. And she recently did an SSP reading for me based off of the prologue of a book that I'm writing, which was downloaded to me during a recent hypnosis session. And Christy's just going to give us a quick run through of what she saw, and she's going to do a card reading as well. Because I just woke up in September of last year, and there's not a lot that I know beyond what I've picked up in hypnosis sessions about all of the programs and all of the things that I've had, in different fractals of my consciousness. And Christy is a very intuitive person when it comes to that. So please welcome Christy Campbell.
Thank you guys for having me on. I know that when you was asking me to look at your book and everything too, then
And there's the first fuck up ever on the episode.
I was going to tell everybody that we're watching the recap, because they'll say, "Hey, your thing's messing up," So I wanted to make sure they knew.
That was literally just the first big.
I had to stop and go to my desktop because the laptop I was using wasn't working. So I went to the desktop, and then it was working. Put in a headset and all that. So things like that happen to us, So I don't think it's interference. It's just the mic and the internet was slow, So yeah.
So in your videos detailing childhood alien abductions, MILAB experiences, and memories from the programs like IBIS and Montauk, what was the key turning point or catalyst, like the real burning bush moment that moved you from fragmented memories and survival into like full spiritual? What was your burning bush catalyst moment, I guess, is the real question, that really woke you up to any of this?
Well, I started taking the Reiki classes in 2011. And then so I started from Reiki 1 and went all the way to Karuna Reiki Master. So I took like from 2011 till 2013, and then became a Karuna Reiki Master. So during that time, I was expanding my mind and learning, like with sending healing, sending the Reiki, and just all that kind of. Slowly my mind was getting used to the opening and healing. It wasn't like a big burst of Kundalini, how some people have that and then they go into psychosis. Some people do, but so that it was just kind of doing it really slowly, so I could get used to it. And then after my Karuna Reiki master class, she gave me the fire serpent symbol, and that goes like down your spine and awakens up your Kundalini energy. And then so I got really hot after she did that, and the whole, like, I felt like I was having a major hot flash, and I didn't know that was the Kundalini awakening at the time. I later, because that's not explained, at the time, hey, you might have a Kundalini, because you never know who will and who won't. So after that, then everything started just kind of coming to my awareness. Like, just I was interested in looking up the alien abduction, the super soldier stuff, the MILAB, all the George Bush Senior kind of stuff, then the starseed. So I was all over the place. All doors were wide open. They just flung open. So yeah, after that 2013 class, then ever since then, um, it's been ongoing. It's just been kind of the whole process of learning about it, and then so now I have the full knowledge of so many subjects. I've studied and researched and asked others, and done everything. So I've gathered all the information, and that's a lot. Since 2013 till 2026, so that's a speedy awakening, really. All kinds of information that I've learned, really, because a lot of people, it's kind of like I'm ahead of time a little bit too, so then I can help people as well, so I feel like that as well. So there's a lot of people who are haven't, or just now waking up to the super soldier, or they might think that they've been abducted or so now, I've already learned all that, so I can help people in that way too. So yeah.
I can speak on that firsthand, because between you and Arkeem Ra and several other guests that appeared quite often on Typical Skeptic is how I really sorted through the parts of my consciousness that I was remembering that involved super soldier programs as
Yep.
well. And,
Mm-hmm.
I almost went into, I've admitted this on the show before, I was borderline spiritual psychosis. It hit me
Mm-hmm.
that hard. Like, it was all I could do, think, sleep, eat, or talk about. And,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
really
Yes.
does affect people. Like, and
It
it's,
does.
yeah,
It does. It takes you learn about it, and then it's a shock. Like, you just can't believe it, like you're almost kind of rocking, like, oh my god, this is crazy, and so you take a week. I took like a week to process that George Bush Senior information with Kathy O'Brien. After I heard that video, my mind just, it blew my mind, where she's like talking on that podium and stuff, like a older video.
yeah,
And so after I heard that, I was something with her talking about George Bush Senior, whatever. It was just, when all I remember is her saying his name, and then it opened up. I was like in shock, kind of depressed a little bit too, because I was just trying to process. It was like opening up memories, so that's it's kind of every emotion you get, really. There's not, because you feel a little bit confused, like,
mm,
what is going on, because I'm seeing like a different reality of something else. And well, you're trying to understand that, and it's pretty hard to explain it to people, because they think you're kind of crazy too. Like, if I tell people that I'm seeing other realities, or I'm having all these visions or these thoughts of other places that I've been, that I'm having memory of being in space, and I went to tell my parents or anyone on my family, then um they think I'm crazy at that time, because
mm,
they had no, but now they don't. Now they've heard it all. So it's helped them. I've helped them understand it. Yeah.
yeah. And I understand that part of it too, because when I first started getting all of this and like wrapping my head around it, once I started to step away from the psychosis end of it, I tried to explain it to my mom,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Oh,"
Mhm.
and she kind of put a pin in it, and she came back to me about 2 days later, and she's like, "I understand Sylvia Brown."
Oh,
Right?
okay.
She understands past lives. She's like,
Mhm.
"That's about as much as I can wrap my head around this. And I'm like, it's very close to that. It's just a different stage of conscious existence. That's the past. This is either future, parallel, or a completely different. And she's like, okay. And it, for somebody who's, in her 60s, it was a good effort, right?
Yeah,
So I
right.
appreciated that she's like at least trying to get it. And some people will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember we talked about her before in the first episode, and she was part of like she signed up for some sort of testing or something like that before you were born or so. Is that right? Like, or something like that. Was it some kind of a testing? And then, so
That's
she was involved with the honey pots and MK Ultra and Super Soldier and remote viewing. So she has all of those things too. So she was sent there. So when I think she was pregnant, right? With that time?
That's what I found out in a
Mhm.
hypnosis that
Yeah, she was already pregnant. So they already knew that, of course, because I think her dad was her handler or something like that. One of the male figures. She has a few of them that were probably all of those males were handlers, and because they would also track her and stalk her. And I was seeing her kind of walk in the sidewalk during the 70s or so, and she was like looking because the car was following her, So I was seeing that vision of her, kind of scared for being targeted, So before you were even born, she was already being targeted, in the programs because
I
I think it was like your grandpa or something, right? When her dad or something
my
like that. I forget who
my
it was.
father's father was military.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. See, I
Um,
got a good memory.
yeah, no, and yeah, that actually makes
Hmm.
sense for back in the
Hmm.
70s as well, because that's about the right time.
Yep.
Um,
Hey, Susan. Hey, Michael. Michelle. It's Michelle King, and then also who else we got? Oh, we got Patty watching and Spinja.
yeah.
And then I have my YouTube going too. So thank you everybody for watching.
Yeah. Um, how have your Cherokee and Muscogee ancestral roots intertwined with your starseed lineages, such as like Pleiadian, Lyrian,
Mhm.
or Syrian, to
Yeah.
support breaking free from the SSP stuff, like clearing implants, stepping fully into your mission as a galactic ambassador, really?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Well, it's spiritual. You're spiritual. So it's the Native American. So that DNA is gonna do a lot of healing. So it's assisted me with healing a lot. And my grandma or my great grandma, she was a healer. So I see her in my mind a lot. With helping and everything too. And uh, her husband was Creek or Muscogee Creek, and I didn't really know them at all when I was little. They passed away when I was 2, so I didn't get to spend any time with them, Um, so um, so how has I think they do come from like Pleiadians, they're Pleiadian, Syrian, Lyra, so they're all over the place as well. Um, and with their DNA. So it's gonna be a lot of healing frequencies that I come in with, like the starseed, of course, but it's more the advanced because it's going to be the spiritual. Like you have and I have German too on my mom's side, so that's different. If it was like, uh, so there's usually some spiritual. Like if there's people who are German and Irish, or German and some there's that Irish is going to have some magical, some superpower DNA. So that DNA assists, and during after you wake up, when you're awakening, then that amplifies your abilities, your innate abilities, So, yeah, and the Karuna Reiki, I think it was already there within me, and that those symbols just amplified it more. So,
Quick question, and this one's not from the chat. It's from a friend who can't get signed in, but she's watching on YouTube. Hi, Joy
mhm.
Child. She's actually been a guest. She was just wondering where you're from.
Oklahoma, Southeast Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Bigfoot Nation.
Oh, we might have to go Yeti hunting.
Yeah,
Ah,
the Yetis. I don't know about where's the Yetis at. Are they in? They're in the cold, aren't they? or is it
Yeah,
just Bigfoot and Sasquatch? I've seen it in my mind, the Sasquatch, so
yeah.
definitely it's thick over here. Yeah.
I we're actually going to be moving to northern Alberta, which is Bigfoot country as well. So I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of excited about that.
Cool. Yeah.
Uh, you've shared vivid recalls of alternate timelines, such as being like an espionage agent on a battleship or experiences tied to Montauk altars.
Mm.
How did these timeline connections and emotional downloads accelerate your awakening and help you reclaim fragmented aspects of yourself?
How did it what now? I kind of lost that
Oh,
with what
sorry.
you're asking. How
How
did
did how did these timeline connections and emotional downloads accelerate your awakening, basically? Like,
mm,
did your memories push your awakening?
no, I was awake already. Then when I after awakening, then these memories unfold. Yeah.
I just got a message from her again. Yeti is from Tibet, she believes. So,
I have seen it in Antarctica as well. We were attacked by the team was attacked by a Yeti. So mhm.
I I would be very interested in going Bigfoot hunting at some point because I think they're fascinating and I think they're
Mhm.
interdimensional too, to be honest.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, In exploring Lemurian grid sites, portal activations, and Earth based energetic work in your content, what role have these grounded connections played in anchoring your cosmic awakening? Like when you're checking the grids and like doing all that ethereal work and like navigating, like, I guess, uh, releasing I'm stepping on my own words. Releasing trauma from like underground facilities and navigating increased energy or psionic targeting. Like, how do you traverse all of this?
How do I work in it or what? Like I don't understand what you're asking. Like um
Basically, like, how did like when you're doing your grid work, how did that accelerate your awareness and awakening as well? Like, how did you get into the grid work stuff?
well, like with the awakening happens first with everything, and then these subjects come about in my mind or through other people or downloads. So as I'm maneuvering through places, going around like traveling and stuff, then I'll get information too and downloads. Um, like with the grid work, I'll see it. It's a lot in my mind, of traveling in my mind to the places that, or I just automatically do it wherever I'm drawn to. So it kind of happens like in going with the flow of it. It's nothing set unless we do like a session where we're clearing the grid of whatever, and there's like a specific intention to do that. Most of the time, it's I do it by myself because it's just like then it's done. Like I send it out, that's done. I don't have to do a whole hour of everything and rattles or whatever. You don't have to do that. It's just like in your mind, and then you clear it and it's done. So um so yeah, that's it's after the awakening happened first. And with that Kundalini awakening, then it's open, activated. You're just learning new stuff and you're able to maneuver as you kind of go with the flow of things and trust yourself, trust your intuition, the visions you get, your memories that come back. You learn to trust yourself. So if you don't trust yourself, then it's gonna slow you down a whole lot. So if you get, like doing Reiki, I'll be doing like a Reiki scan, and then I'll get visions of the person eating carrots or something like that or whatever. And I'm like, carrots. Someone's like, okay, I saw carrots for some reason. And then they'll say, yeah, I needed the whatever, so they'll confirm it. So you just have to learn to trust your intuition, your insight, trust everything within yourself. So, and that takes quieting your mind, being by yourself a lot, not always busy doing something, in whatever way that is. So that's that's what I recommend is spending time by yourself in nature, you know, if you can be out in nature, that's really the best, you know, so you can connect with the earth, and then you just kind of, it just streams, the downloads just stream from your higher self, oversoul, from everything, and from your star family, it just streams to you, to me, I mean.
No, that makes sense, because I do think a lot of our information comes from a higher conscious state, and it comes in like a
Yeah,
stream, exactly what you're saying.
yeah.
There's a question in the chat here from my lovely interdimensional exit buddy. Christy, do you have any resources you can share about grid work? I want to know more because I'm pretty sure that's at least part of my mission.
Yeah, like if you have like details of anything that you're specifically wanting to clear, like if it's the grid work for, so grid work can be like clearing a site, you know, so if you are guided to a certain site when you're traveling, or something even nearby, even if it's just your that you know that it's something's gone on, maybe with the land, so you can go there by yourself if you want to, or you can just do it online too. You can just look at the picture and clear it out, do the energy work by yourself. So it's kind of wherever you're guided to go to. So some things will call out to you, and you just go where it's, because maybe like a portal there that goes to can go to certain places or out to wherever, you know. So so it's mostly where you're guided to go to, and you'll feel it too. You'll feel, people will ask, do you want to do you want to go here, or do you want to go here with us, we're going to do this, and you'll feel it within yourself. It's like an activation and excitement to go there. Yeah, so that's kind of how it is, how I work it.
So it's you're almost using yourself as like a divining rod, like you just go where you're drawn to, basically. It's an
Mhm.
emotional.
Yeah, I do the Reiki on the site, you know, and talk to my ancestors, my guides, my whole team of people, you know, to assist me when I'm traveling and going to these places, and then I'm there, and then I always like, I bring tobacco to leave as an offering, and I thank the land, the spirits, the ancestors that were there, the, you know, everybody who was there before, and then I give thanks and gratitude for allowing me to walk like on that sacred land too. So I kind of just walk like in a prayer, like in that way too. I'm really respectful when I'm going to these places. So yeah, I would like to do more grid work and everything, you know, because I love traveling. So so yeah, I can just do it on the map though. So
I
mhm.
There's a few people I would love to bring to Alberta, because there's some amazing sites here that I think you guys would absolutely dig. Like, from where we live, we can go to the Badlands, the prairies, or
Oh,
the mountains,
wow,
all within like 2 hours of everywhere. And
wow,
it's just, yeah, we're literally 2 hours from everything. And these sites are just
no,
amazing.
yeah,
There's
the
a place called,
Badlands.
yeah,
The
uh,
Badlands, definitely. You know, that's some native land and everything there. So you have to be careful in some places, like use caution with where you're going, because it's protected land too. So you have to be very respectful, and not just pick up a rock and take it, you know, and not offer anything back. So it's like an exchange there. But some of the sites you don't even, like the Anasazi, you know, with the Native American sites with the Southwest, you don't, if there, you find like pottery pieces on the ground, then you don't touch, you don't mess with it, you know, because they say it's like an ancestor. So they use those pieces, they associate those pieces with the ancestor. So you definitely don't pick it up and take it home. You know, that's very disrespectful. So yeah, you really have to I think it's like just kind of being in a meditative state when you go there, and just being very grateful, and kind of walk in a calm, like just having calm thoughts of like peace and love, or however, you know. So that's what it would need, and you just give it that, really, because I think that too many people don't even give it acknowledgement, you know, or anything like that. We just walk everywhere, on the graveyards, on the mounds, you know, and don't even think of it as like a sacred place, you know, of their burial site or anything like that. And that was sacred ground to them, still is. And then that's why they've assigned like the dog man, like the Sasquatch or Bigfoot, however you say. So they have these spirits there that they've assigned as guardians of the land right there too. So you'll notice like people who live in those areas, they have a lot of cryptid, or they see things in the land, but mostly like in the house too, because you know they don't see that there's a house there. They just go right in, and it's usually not a positive uh, entity, however, because they're on their land, you know. So if people were more aware of that, you know, and gave thanks and gratitude, and you know, then things would start to calm down for them.
I That makes sense.
Hmm.
There's another question from Joy Child. She's native as well, and she was wondering if you have the M's on your hands, on the palms of your hand.
Yeah, I do. Got them on both hands. One, both of them. Yep.
Yeah. No, she was
Hmm.
just curious,
It's like
and
both hands. That's
I do as
that
well.
one, and I have a mold there too, right on the major line too. Yeah, on both hands. I think a lot of people do, don't they? Have that M? Don't I think so?
I'm not sure, but I she
Hey,
was
cat.
saying it's actually rare, but it seems to be
Hmm.
with like spiritual and intuitive people, but
Yes.
normal people don't tend to have it. I
Yep.
guess I'm not
Yep.
sure, but yeah. Uh, do you have you were mentioning about clearing your mind. Do you have any meditation practices that you use to stay in like a clear frame of mind when you're doing your channelings and when you're doing your clearings?
I burn my sage, and I use my feather to clear my energy before and after each thing, and then I just say, you know, whatever comes to mind to communicate with my ancestors, my star ancestors, my guardians. I just kind of whatever comes to mind, and I always see myself like as a radio with antennas going up, and all these antennas connect with all my star family and ancestors and everything, you know. So I always ask if they in the higher self, and then my oversoul, and then with source light, you know. So I always say make me a clear channel for all connections are open, all lines are open. So I have all that, and then so that kind of clears my mind every time. Hmm.
Uh, just quick, Joy Child texted me again and said that it's actually like 1% of the population that actually has those
Oh,
M's.
okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
Um, what this is a personal question that I literally just wrote down. What is the significance in indigenous culture of the feather and the fanning?
The feather is a sacred object. They're both sacred objects, you know. So yeah, so you use a sacred object, and you care for them too. It's a being, the being that the bird, you know, the energy is connected to the wing and everything too. So it's like everything has meaning. Everything in nature has meaning to it's all respected, you know. So um so that's the spiritual the DNA that I brought in with me too, you know, from my Cherokee and the Muscogee. But it's also the I feel like it's like the star seeds. A lot of the star seeds kind of are aware of doing that as well, as being respectful to the land and all the animals and nature, and that's what they kind of are gravitating toward. Like that's what's healing to them. So, um, yeah.
That's awesome. So Jason threw up your books here, which perfectly aligns. There's a link to her books if you guys want to go
Thank
check them
you,
out. Jason is awesome.
Jason Guest. Was it? Is it Jason Guest or who is that? I forget.
Jason H, he was in
Okay.
Rob's chat. Uh, so on that note, what inspired the Electra series?
The Electra series is all of my experiences, and I've been trying to you know, put it all together in some sort of a book form that made sense, because it's like I have all these experiences and they're like puzzle pieces. And I'm like, how can I put it all together to make sense, you know? But it's a lot of it. It's just that it's just like puzzle pieces. So it's a flash of an experience that I put into the books, to the Electra series. I have so many more books that I've done now. But like with the Electra series, then I have I put the pictures in there so you can see uh what was going on, so you can have a visual, and then I write what I experienced. And it's not real long. Each experience is like puzzle pieces, but the intention is to assist others in remembering that many of us were in these programs, you know. So it might look a little bit different, you might have been, but it's basically they kind of don't change a whole lot of where, you know, like the program stuff. They don't really like to change up a lot of the 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 base of it, you know, like it kind of stays the same as far as the honey pots go. If somebody says they were in the honey pots, then it's going to be the same kind of things going on, you know, like with the blackmail and everything like that. So no matter where you were, it's still going to be the same, you know. They don't change it up with doing the blackmail and stuff like that. So that's going to show you. And then I put this 200 page, and it's all my writing. It's writing. It's not any pictures in this one. So you're going to get like 200 pages full of all my experiences. And then when I'm writing, and then I start getting more memory, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, like I'm gonna have to make another book here because I have like a whole bunch more that's coming to mind now. Like memories open up as you. This is healing. This is healing work for me. Doing this, writing it down, and then putting it out there. So I do it so maybe that will assist others, but also share my truth, you know, of what's in what I've experienced, what I've uncovered, and what and during my awakening, and then what I've seen and found and researched, all of it, you know. So uh, that's part of what I've been doing all this time, you know, and it's not been an easy journey at all uncovering all of this. So I just wanted to uh, put it out there so I would feel like I accomplished that at least, you know, like if this helps someone, you know, then I'm doing a good job with that. As far as like helping someone remember that they might have been in the programs too or something, you know. So because I'm seeing this for a reason, it's uncovered for a reason, come to my awareness for a reason. So I'm gonna put it in a book and make it public and put it out there, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think something you touched on there, I actually just wrote this down, is one of the things
Hey, Chastity. Hmm.
that actually bothered me about my involvement with the SSP community at large was the amount of infighting. And you just summed it up perfectly, that there is going to be a lot of people with a lot of very similar and horrific stories.
Hmm.
And they're going to sound very, very similar. And there's a lot of people in this community, and I understand how traumatic this is because I experienced it myself, and I'm speaking from that experience, that
Hmm.
there are going to be people with very similar experiences to what you're remembering. And that doesn't mean that they're stealing what you think happened or what did happen to you in that stage
Yeah.
of your consciousness
Yeah,
during an
that's
abduction.
funny. Yeah.
You're fighting over, we should be comparing notes and sharing
Yeah,
information.
exactly.
You guys
Yeah,
want real
exactly.
answers? Stop fucking fighting. Pardon my language, Christy,
Exactly.
but
Yeah,
stop fighting with each
exactly.
other just because you guys went through the same things, because
Hmm.
it's not going to get you anywhere. It's counterintuitive to being productive,
Childish.
and it's childish. Exactly.
Hmm.
It really, it needs to stop. A lot of us were tortured in the same ways. A lot of us had the same shit happen to us. It doesn't mean other people are stealing your shit. It just
No.
means you have something in common. You might even know that person.
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
if your
Exactly.
experience is like closely related, stop hating and start talking.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's all
it's
I can
all
say.
it's ego and childish and all that they're doing. So, you know, um yeah, you just, if they're going to be that way, then just don't even talk to them, you know, like just move on from them. If they're going to be that way, you know, they won't be any help anyway. They want to be tied up in their own stuff, and this is all mine. I own this secret space program, you know, whatever, you know. So
Yeah. Um, you were saying about being able to share with others. How did writing and channeling these books really help you elevate that? Because like even when we first started talking, it was like we were figuring it out and you were helping me along. But like now that it's all in written form, like how has that made this easier for you to speak about this publicly, I guess?
how has it made it easier? Um, it's been easy for a long time for me. I just believed in myself and did it, you know? I just started talking about it a long time before I even wrote about it, because I was on James Rink's Super Soldier Talk and on Rob's show, Typical Skeptic. So I was on both of those shows in 2023. I started talking about it, and it was difficult at time at first, you know. I felt kind of shy about speaking, you know, in front of people and stuff. I was just shy with that way, but not with telling my story, because you could ask me any which way and then I would tell you the same thing. You could cut it off and then come back and move it around and try to trick me or anything like that, and I'll tell you the same story, you know. So I don't, nothing like that changes, you know. So so I know my truth, and that's why it's easy for me to talk about it.
And you really are helping people. Like I said, people like you that first put it out there really did bring some of this to my awareness and, you know, made it easier for me to understand and being able to reach out and have conversations because
Yeah.
there was Facebook messages in the beginning stages, like back and forth conversations between I saw Susan Long's in the chat as well, like, and that's what they need to do to get anywhere with it, is just talk. And I know I sound like a broken record, but like talk about it because you don't sound like a crazy person to the other people who think they're going crazy.
Nope. You
They
don't. Mm-mm.
help you out.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, I do sessions now to help people too. So, if they want to talk to me about any subject at all, you know, if it's uh, aliens or MILAB, or, you know, just trying to work out anything at all within the family, then, you know, because most of the time there's some trauma that needs to be talked about, you know, and released. So and I just kind of go with what they tell me. I let them kind of lead the way, and then I just listen, and whatever they want to talk about and share, you know. So I do those in my session. I have that in my session. And I also started doing the energetic Reiki scan. um and this is kind of going to be more details of all, like, so how I do it is I meet with the person on Zoom, and then kind of ask them some questions, kind of meet them and everything, sync with their energy, and then spend a few days with their energy with me, and kind of just letting them relax with me and all that. And then things start to open up. They start to open up all their awareness and experiences. And so I can read places that they've been within the programs. And then I also even get like pictures of what I see in my mind of their aspects that they've been. You know, I'll see memories for them, so I can write it all out. Some memories that, you know, to help them, or places, or beings, or however, you know. So it's different for each person, but yeah, that's been really helpful, because I'm also doing Reiki on them while I'm doing the session. You know, for all of my sessions, we're doing Reiki. So even doing interviews and stuff. So because the symbols are in my field, you know, so they just come out naturally, like through through my energy. So yeah, it's been like a lot of helping a lot of people, you know, I know. So I feel very grateful to be able to be a voice, or be here to kind of, so they can come to and, you know, talk to about anything they want to discuss with me, you know? because it can be scary at first if you're seeing aliens, you know, so it or super soldier or being uh, abducted. There's lots of people who are kind of scared to talk about their childhood because they kind of have their memory wiped, or they had bad nightmares, or even if they was in the programs and their parents or their mother was, they were a certain way, they're abusive and to them, so there's different people, they have all different experiences, but the programs are like the same. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is like I've noticed this, like if people can understand that there is such thing as like past lives, future lives, parallel lives, I've basically stuck with the term multidimensional consciousness because it
Hmm.
really covers everything. And there is a lot to all of it. Like this is a huge thing. And these programs and the people who run them have figured out how to manipulate it. Right.
Hmm.
Like everybody in this reality is completely capable of accessing every bit of their consciousness in some other type of state. But the people that run this shit have also figured that out. So it is really up to us to figure out how to take control of those other versions of consciousness.
Other aspects of us that are living out other lifetimes, so you can, if you can contact them in your mind, you can speak with them and they can assist you here as well, so it's just a aspect of you in another reality.
That's how I learned quantum physics overnight.
Hmm.
I needed to understand it, and I woke up in the morning and did. Um, there's a comment here that I think needs to be read, and this is a comment. I'm not saying this to Kirsty if anybody takes this out of context. You look beautiful, Kirsty. Thank
Oh,
you for
thank you.
sharing. Thank you for sharing your story. After my
Oh, it's Patty.
Kundalini, yeah, the same thing. My consciousness expanded and I leveled up in frequency.
Yes. So Patty is Patty Paparazzi. So we're going to be at the Rise of the Guardians conference in
Oh,
May 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we're both going to be, we're vendors going to be there. So we have our books that we're going to be signing and selling and signing. And we have artwork, and we have so much stuff too that we'll have a whole table full of alien. We're going to be dressed up like with the metallic dresses and really cute. We'll both look really cute little like space girls. Yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun.
the book you just held up was actually what I was about to mention. In book
Yeah.
like starseed activations and DNA activation codes. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
How does the vivid artwork, intuitive transmissions, and light codes serve as activation tools for the reader?
Yeah, because you know how you can go into the picture. Some people can go into the picture and they're like, "Hey, that looks kind of familiar." And they're a kid, and like that kind of jogs the memory of. And then this first part is about our generation, Gen X. Growing up Gen X. And me and Patty were both the same, and Chastity too. Chastity's in the chat too. So we're all Gen X, and you are too, aren't you, Don? Aren't you seven? What
78.
year? Yeah, see, uh, so so this is growing up and how it was when we were growing up, and we felt kind of like the loners, we didn't kind of like to be around big crowds in school or nothing like that, so it's kind of growing up with baby boomer parents and tough love and everything. And then this is about where me and Patty meet at the conference. Okay, and then we're vendors there. We're working, selling our books, talking to everybody, having a blast, And then we get to go out to Sedona and on the Red Rocks, and that's like a high frequency area. Lots of portals and ET contactees, and just the whole land is amplified there, so I made this book to be ahead of time. It's already laying it out for us. So we go out into the desert and set and ask for our star family to come and pick us up. So that's what this book is about. we go and travel with them and with the praying mantis and all of it, so that's going to show you another page here where we're on the craft and stuff, and then we meet other little kids. It's like little starseed children. It just shows like they're not really on the ship. It's just showing that everybody like family. Like when you're little, then you'll be able to see these little ETs because they haven't closed their awareness yet, so their mind is open to seeing more, so. And then we also there's also hybrid children, so we would be helping and assisting with the hybridization program and other realities as well, and at the end then we meet all of them, the mantis, the tall grays, and the felines, and even the reptilians, so there's no fear with any of them. They're high vibration. And so we just go on like a journey and stuff with them. So that's this book here. It's on Amazon. Yeah. So this was a lot of fun. We'll have more. And Patty has her own books too. So we both have, and they're both on Amazon. Patty Paparazzi and Christy Campbell. You can find us on Amazon, and then also our artwork as well. We're doing light language and stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I've got her link back up here
Yeah.
again. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, she can leave her link to the Amazon so they can find your books too, Patty.
Yeah. I don't know if Jason's still in the chat, or he can throw that up if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
How do the embedded codes support starseeds in embracing their uniqueness and activating their own cosmic origins?
Because the code, they're like music notes, like frequency codes. So that's gonna assist your like with your DNA activation and everything too. Like with the books and stuff that I've written, I've put some of this like with my artwork and everything in here. So when you look at it, you feel something. Like some people do, not everybody. They're like, I don't feel nothing. So but some people feel the frequency. But that's what it is, the frequency codes. So most people will be like, oh, I felt something looking at that. Like I had a vision of something, or I heard something, or that. So I'll write little codes with the ETs. I say ETs, but the galactic beings, however you want to describe them, with the code there. So you can see it assists in frequency, and it goes into like your DNA and activates dormant DNA. If you're open to that, you have to be, your awareness has to be open to that, or you'll just think it's a book of art and you won't even appreciate anything with that. So you probably wouldn't even be drawn to the books, if that was the case. So I put all of my artwork in these books, and it's not in any kind of order. I just wanted to make books with my artwork because all my artwork just sits in the closet and doesn't get any attention. And it's like, I need to get this out. I've been writing all of this since 2014, and it just sits there in the closet. So these are like ancient scripts and messages to people that need to hear it and see it and feel it. So that's what it does.
When you're writing and drawing these, are you literally getting a visualization, or is it kind of like auto writing and auto drawing? Because like I know sometimes you can get something in your head and just draw it out,
It's
or
an
do you?
activation, like an activation, like you have to do it. It's like something like activates within you. Or if you're just sitting, like if it's with these beings and stuff, then I'm gonna draw the being first, and then I'll write the codes that it's giving me with its frequency. So this being gave me these codes. So if you want to look at this one, then these two beings give me this code. So they're all different. So it's like that.
Yeah.
And then like here, it's like showing a abduction scene where she's on the table or I'm on the table there, and then I'm getting like upgrades. So they're giving me upgrades with my DNA too, infusions. So yep. Yeah.
As you've been evolving as an author from like the ELECTRA testimonies, what has been the most surprising or inspiring feedback that you've gotten from a reader? Like what what kind of feedback are you getting from people who get these and like are meeting you at the conventions and stuff?
Well, Patty has been a big inspiration for me because she knows what the codes mean, and she tells me, yeah, these are very helpful, you know, and these activate, and it so she can translate, and she can write them too, and draw the beings as well. So it's like we're star sisters, you know. So it's like having someone who appreciates and knows, and also Chastity also can feel them too. So she's also um she's also aware, she can feel them. And then if you know that they don't always have to have an English translation, they're just like musical notes, frequencies, so you're feeling it, and then it might make you remember something from before, you know. So like this book is the translations of interdimensional codes. So all of these codes, and then I put the English translation because everybody was asking, well, what does that mean? I don't know what all of that means, you know. So why would I buy a book and it's just symbols? And so I was like, okay, I'll do it just to show you, and then you know, just to show you in English what it means, and then so you won't satisfy everybody's understanding, you know. So there's no need to try to prove to people what things are, what they mean, because you know, it's just too much to have to try to help someone who really doesn't even care. They're just saying it just to be a butthead, really, you know, and trying to throw you off a little bit as well, you know. So you just have to keep going, and you know, like their frequency codes, and if you can't feel them, then you know, um probably you just need to do some inner work, you know, and that's all, you know. So yeah.
Michelle King, who's actually from here in Alberta, said just by looking at the code, just by looking at the codes affects you. And I
Yeah,
remember
it does.
the reading you did that inspired this show. That was codes. So
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, cuz I used to do I don't have to do those anymore, really. I just did it at first cuz I was building up to working into the audience, and it kind of helped me feel more confident and more comfortable, you know. So I made a whole bunch of uh uh tarot, like my own oracle decks and stuff. They say the same thing I would say. They just kind of help dig deeper into the energies and everything too. And I can still do that. They need it, but I can usually just see it, you know.
uh, I just want to address this comment from Superhero Harmonics. You are
Yeah.
absolutely correct that the energy frequencies flow through us, and light is intelligence. And yes, because we are basically light, there is a portion of us, like we emit photons, and there is information in every particle and ion in this reality.
Mhm.
So you are absolutely correct, and we are the
Yeah.
creators of this reality. So I
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Yeah, both Chastity and Patty are in the chat. They both understand and feel the frequencies and everything too. So
Da, da, da. So, how has your experience up to now? Like, where do you think you're going to go with your next books? You were saying that you have more to write. Like, what direction are you going with them? Are you going to continue on with the artwork
yeah.
and the books? Are you going to be
Uh-huh.
strictly books?
All of it, because it's all important to me. It's all what's exciting to me. I just kind of follow what I'm passionate about. Me and Patty was gonna do a book on uh our helping kids, you know, so with what they see and everything too. So we're gonna do a few kids books. Yeah.
That that would be really cool because I know there is not much material of the metaphysical
No.
type for kids because, um, Diana Marie, she's been
Oh,
on,
and that's gonna help Chastity too. She's writing her Montauk story, Chastity is. So she's getting all the information of her Montauk experience, and she went there with James Rink, you know, and so she was channeling and everything too. So she's putting that all together, and then I'm gonna help her format it, you know. So a lot of people don't know how to format, you know, and I'm self-taught how to do that. I've made lots of mistakes with that. So I started out learning a little bit. So now I can help people. I use that as a service too, you know, so that's on my website. And my website is christycampbellcc33.com, you know, so you can look over all of my services there.
Yeah. So for other star seeds experiencers or those awakening to the MILAB SSP experience, who have histories of feeling isolated, face identity information, and all of that, what guidance from your own journey would you offer to them if they were just in the beginning stages of getting their memories and reclaiming their sovereignty?
Um, I like to write things down, the memories that I get, and like have a notebook, you know, or a recorder, to just kind of whatever kind of flows out. A recorder is also good to have, you know, because you can always write it down in the car at night. So if you just have that, something that you get a flash of, you could watch a movie, read someone else's book, you know, so that's good too. You can read my books, you can read Patty's books, and then you get memories back, you know. So people share their codes and information and their energy within their books, so that's going to help activate, if you're drawn to those people and stuff too, and their high frequency too as well. I would, um with what they need to do, um yeah, I would just start doing research in what you resonate with, you know? Just kind of follow your intuition and trust what you hear, see, and feel. And write down as much as you can so you don't forget too. And then one day your whole notebook will be full, and then you can move on to another one, and then whatever you want to do with it, that's up to you, you know? So you can share it, or you can write a book, you can do whatever you want to. It's uh your own choice what to do.
You're not wrong about the notebooks at all, and that was something Spinja got me into because we were deep diving and watching multiple podcasts, and she's like, "You almost need a notebook." And then I have two
Yeah.
just sitting here, and
Mhm.
like there's paid like books and books and books beside my bed of everything that's gone on over the last 2 years. And it probably looks like the diary of a madman, but I know there's a brilliant
Yeah.
book in this too, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm. I know you're Pisces, so you're real sensitive and everything too with energies. So, oh,
absolutely.
did you see this one too? It's like the dollhouse programming. So I put myself on the cover there, and it's also a different programming, you know. So I try to expand and short and the smaller books, the 32 pages, so people can see it. Like they don't have to read a whole long book just to read about my experience in this program, you know. So, and I also put pictures. So this is the picture book of being in these programs, and this was not a positive experience at all, you know. So
Um, before we go, I wanted to give you a chance because I know you have them sitting there. Do you want to hold up each one of your books and everybody through a brief description? And I'm going to throw the Amazon link back up here again because I really do think
yeah,
for people in the beginning stages of this understanding, these are fundamental pieces of literature that they should be reading.
yeah, definitely so. And I would start out with the ELECTRA books, really, to assist you with, if you have the super soldier or MILAB experience, there's an alien abduction experiences. I mean, I have this many books so far, you know, so a lot to look from. And there's more that I've written on Amazon too. So um, I'll start with the ELECTRA. So this is number 4 book of the ELECTRA series, and this is the 200-page book. It's all text there. You know, no pictures or anything there. I'll go in order with those so you can see those ELECTRA books. Okay, and then this is the first ELECTRA book, The Warrior's Ledger, and it's all the SSP experiences, this Project Seagate, going to a martial arts training center in space, all kinds of stuff there. Military abduction, MILAB experiences, and then the Montauk. Montauk is talking about being at Montauk and what I experienced there, and then time soldier missions. So that's that battleship you was talking about, being on that battleship with the admiral, and that was like a mission there too, like a changing the timeline. And then this is the third book, and then the 200 pages the fourth book. So you'll see that on there. I put numbers on the description part on Amazon so you could see and understand what each book, you know. And this is describing a 20 and back experience. So it's full of experiences, all of my experiences there. Okay, and then so I had the starseed book here, the starseed. I'll I already went over that there, and then I wrote a book to help with the human alien hybrid program. So this is about a girl who has contact with the Greys, and it's friendly, and she's abducted and taken on the ship, and then she has a hybrid baby with the Grey. She has a hybrid baby, and she gets to play with other babies too on the ship, and visit with them all the time. She gets to read to them, read stories, and help them all, you know. And she just loves all of them like they were her own, and they might all be her own, you know, with her genetics used. And then so she has to go back home and live on Earth, and then gives them all hugs. And then at the end, then he it's a male, you know, it's a male grade, the energy. Then he erases her memory, so when she wakes up, she doesn't feel so sad and missing her family, you know, anything like that. He doesn't want that to interfere with her Earth life, her mission. So there's that. So I did that to help with people who have had that abduction, the hybridization. And then this is about a little boy. He's an alien abductee, and it's positive experience too. I just like to do the positive because I've seen so much negative with the super soldier MILAB experiences. So this boy, he has contact with the Greys. They come to his window all the time. They take him on the ship and play games with him, let him see space and talk to him. They're his best friends. And then he's returned back, you know, at the end. So that's a short little story too. And then this is another short story here with the Apex, the Lyran Apex archives. And so I pulled these up, pictures. I made all the pictures, and then the description of each being, you know, so, and their abilities. And it's just kind of like a research, kind of a helpful book to get to know these beings, because they're I have aspects of myself as those beings. And this was my very first book, Luna Spirit Door. And this is about a little girl, like an aspect of me, and very sensitive at school, and seeing things like angels and everything. So it's given her affirmations to say to help her. So she gets scared because she sees stuff at night, and her mom helps her comfort her, you know, and she gives her like a protective amulet to wear, and helps her say things to so she builds up her strength, you know, so she doesn't feel scared and overwhelmed at school, because it's so too much energy sometimes for little empaths and sensitive people, you know. And then being out in nature with the cats and everything, that's helpful for empaths and for kids. So that's what this is about. And she uses her crystals and stuff, her mom tells her. And then I have this book. It's called The Dark Empath. So this is going to teach you how to do things like 10 things, or so to help you clear your energy, get protection crystals like the obsidian, you know, things like that, or brushing off your aura with sage and a feather. Or this is talking about brushing, like brushing. It just says brushing, but it's like you could sweep it off with the feather. And then she's just it's just showing to set boundaries and all of that, you know, be out in the sun and turn off your phone, get out and be in nature, trust your intuition, reclaim your power, So yeah, that's just helping with boundaries and your energy, so you learn to protect yourself and everything. Because at school, in places like Walmart, the grocery store, we pick up on everybody's energy, and then we leave, and then we feel so tired or something like that. And the dollhouse programming,
Yeah.
so I showed that already. And then I have these books all on Amazon. These are all my books that I put my artwork in. So I've changed the covers, but it's going to be the same name, but I changed the covers up. Um, and so I put all kinds of artwork in each one of them. They're full. I have the Galactic Scribe, Starseed Activation, the Warrior's Code, DNA activation codes. So I've changed some of the covers. So I don't know why I did that. I just did. It was probably another. I don't know. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I will throw away some of my artwork that I shouldn't, because it's like a programming, the negative talk and stuff that I'll have, and then I throw it away, and then I'm like, what? Why did I do that? So I do that. I've done it. And then so with here, so I should have just kept the original covers, but I didn't. So I just remade it because I thought that making um a digital picture would look better. Maybe that's why they aren't they aren't selling good, because you need to change the picture. That's what my thought was. I'm like, okay, I've changed the picture. That's what it needs. Like I just self-sabotage sometimes with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it goes on and on. Starseed, interdimensional, and then there's firebenders. These are all on Amazon though. Firebender. So this her, and it's all artwork on these beings who are like they're fire, like dragon energy girls. It's all girls. They're really powerful firebenders. Yeah. So,
We
yeah.
have a couple of things. Michelle King, QHHT, says great books.
Thank you.
Michelle is actually a friend of Joy Child, so thank you for watching, Michelle. I appreciate Joy Child telling you, and you and I need to talk about QHHT at some point. Just off topic. Love your focus on the positive stories, Christy. That's from my interdimensional exit buddy Spinja. And from my friend Lee, what book does she recommend for the first one to read? Like if you were gonna
I would read the Warrior's Code or the ELECTRA series. I would start with that. That helps you with memories. If you're looking at for the experiences and stuff, that kind of any of the ELECTRA. But if you have like the abduction or hybridization, some of those books too. So the ELECTRA kind of will help. Anyone you want to pick first is fine. I just put it in order. So some people like a order, like which one should I buy first? So I just put the one on the first ones I did, the Warrior Code. I just put the numbers on how I published them, So you can read them in any order. There's no way to,
right or wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to reach out to you, now is the time to tell them where to find you, and what about where to find your streaming and all of that wonderful jazz.
My YouTube channel is Christy Campbell CC33, and you can book a session with me on my website. You just look over my website, and then it'll give you my email address there. It's christy.campbell.11@gmail.com is my email address, and you can email me. I'm on Facebook Messenger. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. So anywhere you want to message me, but the best way is email to get me to to book a session, because then I can talk to you back and forth and set up a session and PayPal and everything too. So, but I list all my services on my website, ChristyCampbellCC33.com, and the services and the pricing and everything like that. So, yep.
That is awesome. And this is the part where it sounds like I'm sucking up, but this is just my inherent honesty. I cannot thank you enough for being my first ever guest. If you hadn't have come on that day, I wouldn't have ever done this.
Yeah.
You held my hand while I took the
Oh,
leap of faith.
oh,
And without
wow.
you, this show doesn't exist.
Oh, I
So
love hearing that. Yeah, that's an honor. I'm honored that you tell me that too. So it's not sucking up. It's things that I need to hear as well, you know, because it helps me. I didn't know that until you told me. So
yeah, and we, like I said, we are 2 years, 3 seasons, and over 100 episodes later, and it's because of you coming on and talking to me that night. So thank you.
wow. Wow. You're welcome.
For everybody else, I want to say thank you for participating. And if you're listening in the future on audio on Forbidden Knowledge, thank you very much for listening. If you want to come check out the wonderful artwork, it's on YouTube and Rumble. You guys can come check out those pictures, or like she said, go check her out on her website. And
Mhm.
like I always say to you guys, I love you very much. And if you can, please do go outside, because it's a lot better than sitting in front of this screen. Good night, guys.